Hey guys, it's Sam. Today's video is going to be about why, in the end, I have chosen to use book-bound and rings. If you have been around here for a while, first of all, thank you so much for sticking with me. You'll know that I really try to keep things simple and I don't like to use multiple planners. And although I have a tendency to planner hop, I don't usually keep up with multiple planners. So for instance, if I have a Hobonichi Weeks and a ring-bound planner and a Commit 30, I'm not keeping up with each of those things. I really try to kind of put it all into one planner and focus my attention into that one planner because I just don't have a lot of time to update a bunch of different books. So I've struggled and really tried to bind myself into one planning system, and I've just really spent a lot of time thinking about this lately and wondering, other than reasons that I've given in the past about like social media and too many options and all of that, like what keeps me planner hopping and why don't I feel settled? And while I'm not going to promise that this is going to be the end all be all solution for me right now, I feel like all of the boxes are being checked and everything is kind of clicking with me. So most of the year and most of last year, I guess, I've gone back and forth between bouncing between rings and a book-bound planner, and I love both of them for so many different reasons. I recently did a video on 5 reasons why I love Hobonichi Weeks. I'm going to have a video soon, 5 reasons that I love ring planners, and both of them are just really suitable to me. The one that used to work in the past but I haven't made friends with here lately are the spiral notebook planners, and it's just something about them. They just don't draw me to them, but these two systems just work for me, and kind of in different ways, but both feel right. If you know what that feels like. I definitely have planners that fit me right. One thing that I have wanted to do and would love to do is the whole bullet journal setup, but I lack consistency, too lazy to fill in all of the blanks, and it causes it to be a system that I can't let myself commit to as many times as I've tried. But these two systems, I feel like even though they have so much work in them, especially rings, all of the work is done like on the front side of things, and so I guess I don't feel like keeping up with it is so much work. And then the book-bound planners, of course, have everything done for you, and the only thing is how you're going to use it. So for me, in this situation, I have both my functional planning and my memory keeping, and I guess I just realized that I need both to feel like I can be settled. And I really hope that this works. But what I am saying is I'm going to stick with these two things for the entire month of June. It's at the end of May, so it'll be more than a month. It'll be like a month and a week that I'm going to commit myself to this, but I need to settle into something, and I think I've thought it through enough that this is going to be the answer. So as far as rings go, I feel like I need rings in my life because I can do all of my planning in it and all of my tracking in it. I still haven't filled this out, but all of these things that I feel the need to be able to flip back and forth with, knowing that all of the calendars are going to be here and that all of my notes sections and all of my brain dump pages are going to be here. I just feel like I need to be able to have all of these things to check off all of the boxes of things that I feel like I need to be doing. Also, when I'm in rings, I feel like I write more things down. Like when I first moved from a book-bound system into a ring-bound system, I just find myself tearing out a piece of the paper out of my planner and just writing everything out of my head. And I'll just end up with like a bunch of random papers at the end. And when I have done that, I'm like, these are the kinds of things that when I'm only in a book-bound planner, that these things now get trapped in my head because I don't feel free to write them down because of this permanence, which is a pro-con that I've forever dealt with when bouncing between the two. But I don't worry about what's going to be permanent, and I don't worry about if it's organized or not. And it's just little random pieces of paper that I then come in and I file away in these sections. So I know that it can go a place. I know that it will go in a place, or if it's no longer needed after one day, I can just simply throw it away. So I fill this with scrap paper and note paper, and not even paper that is the same size as Pocket Plus, because I know that I can just toss it. These papers that come with the regular pocket size Filofax, this is going to be the kind of papers that I'm like writing shopping lists down or video notes, because I know that I'm not going to need to keep that after the end of the week or the end of the day, and I'm not going to feel guilty about throwing that away. And so I can fill my planner with stuff like this so that I have everything that I need. And then when I get to a place where I need to write those things down, I just grab my pen and go, and I know that I don't have to keep it, or I can. And that makes it very functional and stress-free for me. So right now, I have spent a lot of time. I have personal rings, I have A6 rings, and for now, and that's for now, I am choosing Pocket Plus because of the portability. And I don't know if that will change or not. I do love A6, I do love personal size, but for now, I just didn't want to have a larger book around with me. We'll see how long that lasts, but for the month, I'm committing to Pocket Plus. I love these little pages. The Pocket Plus is just enough space to write in. And if I'm not worrying about this being a permanent solution, and it's more about what I need to get done on certain days, then there still is enough room in these pages to just fill out the basics. So what was happening with me in my ring pages a lot of the time was that I was trying to do little bits of memory keeping in it, but then I ran out of space because it's, you know, such a small, compact space. But what I really need to use this kind of planner for is, where do I need to be on what day? And am I keeping track of the things that I want to keep track of? This is not a memory keeping device for me, and I need to stop trying to make it do both things. So the solution came, well, I thought the original solution came in going back to the Hobonichi Weeks. But with its weekly view, it's also very limited about how much information you can put in it unless you're using the back pages. And as much as I want to use those back pages, they're just somehow not inspiring for me. Part of the problem, I think, is the extremely small grid spacing. And even though the Hobonichi products overall are smaller than others, the Weeks is the smallest of all of them. And something about it just kind of gives me stress. Also, the like skinny page doesn't feel journal-y to me. There's a lot of things going on there, I realize, but in the end, I was like, I don't think that having thoughts other than my weekly spread are going to work in the Hobonichi Week. So then I started thinking, do I get a Stalogy? Do I get a this? Do I get a that? Do I try to do a cousin again? And the cousin, I think, for now at least, is just too big for me. So still craving a space that would show more than just my to-do list and my errands, and did I weigh in and blah, 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 the things that I want to track daily, weekly, monthly. The A6 size just feels very right to me as well. And so I already had an English Hobonichi for the year, but I don't love that layout because you have that big open space. And I realize that A6 is not a large planner, but it just kind of made me feel like, of course I have to write all over this or find some kind of way to decorate the rest of the page and then scrunch in some journaling. And I used the Avec for a certain portion of the year last year, and I was really enjoying it. So what I've been doing, and let me see, make sure that I can share this. So I haven't done any kind of decoration really with this, and I will come back in and fill it with washi tape because I really like the way that looks. But this, I feel like, gives a more permanent view of what my days and weeks look like. So this being broken up in the way that it is in the Japanese version, which I really wish that the English version would be like this, just in English. This can be the places that I needed to be at certain times on any given day. I can have, you know, a high level to-do list here. I like to put my workout. I've started tracking calories instead of trying to keep things really, really low carb. And so I'm gonna, at the bottom of every day, what workout I did, how many calories I consumed, and then this space for a little short journaling session. There's still enough room for if I decide that I want to not do a running to-do list or not have a schedule. Like if we had an event coming up, I could throw some ephemera or a photo or whatever and journal around it. But I feel like the way the Japanese A6 is laid out is in a way that makes me feel like I can separate things very naturally and not feel weird about not feeling like I can fill a whole journaling page every single day. I hope that makes sense. So my schedule, a quote, things to do, the space to journal, not so big that it's overwhelming like a cousin. And then the other thing that I was thinking of for my bound book option was the pocket Moleskine, but I also feel like that's just a little too small, especially if I want to try to keep track of what things I did in a day and my feelings about the day. So I felt like this was like the perfect in between the pocket and the A5. So hopefully this is going to work out well for me. Like I said, I am going to commit to using this and this for an entire month. So please help hold me to it. If I can not consume sugar for over 6 weeks, I can certainly stay in the same planning systems for about the same amount of time. I'm sure of it. So that is my update today. I'm really hopeful with this one because I feel like I'm finally understanding that I have two very different needs, and my insistence that I only stick with one system is kind of causing all of my systems to backfire. And I just really wanted to assess why that was. And I really hope that this is like the thing. I love that with these two things, even though I do have a cover on the way coming for this one, that even if I take these things together, it's still not taking up a huge amount of space. So like if we're traveling and I want to take this journaling with me, I can just take a couple of supplies and go. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to stopping back in and showing you what like a whole month looked like. I will be doing some updates with these, especially the rings. I'll do a flip through soon, but that's not like what I have in here wasn't really the point of this video. What about you? Have you decided that you need to have more or less planners in your lineup than you had originally thought that you would? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.